Hey everybody. So being present and aware is definitely something that's easier said than done. I know I have had many days where I am just, stressing about something, worried about the outcomes, and not, living in that moment, or sometimes even seeing that the answer is right in front of me because I'm so fearful of the future and trying to live in the future that I'm not seeing it. And vice versa, you can be living in the past so bad that you don't move forward. And that's the thing. Like, are you paying attention to what's going on now and absorbing the good moments, absorbing the bad, and, taking in what's going on versus trying to like live from the past or live from the future? And like I said, that's definitely easier said than done because we all do it. We all do it. We all, if it's a life changing decision, we're going to sit here and we're going to be like, well, if I do this, this will happen. If I don't do this, this will happen. And if I don't do this and then this will happen. If I do this, and it's a never ending thing. You're just like getting yourself so upset. You're probably getting yourself sick. I've gotten to the point that like I've given myself like headaches just thinking about outcomes and being so worried about making the right decision that I literally physically make myself sick. And that's not right, you guys, because a lot of those times when I really either stopped, went out and walked or something, or, literally took a second to meditate, relax myself, the answer was like, bam, and then it was like, you literally just went through all that for nothing. Like, why would you do that to yourself? And, sometimes the answer isn't so easy. Sometimes the answer is found in different things. But again, you have to be aware in that moment to catch those messages. So I know I had talked before about how there was a day that I was really stressing out. And I was just so like, okay, what if this happens? What if that happens? What if my kids aren't happy? Especially moving to another state. So I was stressing myself out so bad. And I was just so worried about what they would feel and stuff like that. And, I was asking my guides, like, hey, am I making the right decision? What's going on? I know I feel happier and things are going great for me, but what is in store for them? And, I was rushing into work. I was literally about to jump on a meeting because I was switching between buildings. And there was this person that came in and he was the sanitation person. And he just starts talking to me about, just randomly about how his day is going and how, moving here was the best thing for his kids. And like I said, I was just in a rush. I wasn't paying attention. And then when I finally, like, was like, okay, breathe. You're like, because for number one, you're about to be presenting and you don't want to look like you have a billion things going on. You want to present looking great. And two, that way I can just have this conversation with this person really quick because he is a nice person. And on top of that, I try to give people my full attention when they are speaking to me. I definitely am trying to be more aware about that. And the minute that I did that, I realized that he was giving me my answer. And then I was like, okay, this was one of those moments where I needed to be aware and pay attention and catch that answer, because I was just not getting it when I wasn't seeing it. I was just so worried about what could happen that I wasn't like listening to the answers right in front of me. And that's definitely something that I can just say, I have found many times happen, many times where I'm like, oh shoot, like I just needed a second to breathe and see things for what they are, instead of trying to, again, live in the future, live in the past. And, a couple things that I do is definitely, like I said, absorbing everything that's going on around you. There's so many distractions nowadays, cell phones are definitely the biggest things. And I definitely find myself sometimes, being stuck on it. Like, I'm not going to admit that like I'm the perfect parent and I don't have these things going on. We all do it. We're all on our cell phones. We find ourselves caught up in them, when it's oh, my friend sent me a message, and then now 20 minutes later you're watching, the dumbest video you've ever seen, laughing about it, like, why am I watching this dumb video? But yet there you are scrolling on to the next one, right? And that's hard. Like, it's hard, especially to catch yourself. And I know for me, it can happen a lot with work. I try not to be like too much on my phone. But when it comes to work, there are times I do have to be. And sometimes for me, it's hard to disconnect, especially when I get home, because I'll get home and I have my kids with me. And then sometimes, someone's either texting me something, and most of the time it can wait. And then, I'm over here like, oh, blah, blah, blah. And it's funny because sometimes they're like, oh, you don't have to answer back and can wait till the morning. Me and one of my coworkers try to be courteous with each other like that. So he always messages me like that. He's like, oh, don't worry about this right now. I can wait till the morning. Or if it really is an emergency, he'll let me know like, hey, this is ASAP. We need, like, when you get a chance, can you help me figure this out? And so, even not just even that, but I definitely have to remind myself sometimes, like, okay, it's fine, it can wait, it's not that big of a deal. Even the times that some of these people say it's like, oh, we need to know the answer ASAP, most of the time it's not that bad. And it's not like a life or death situation. If it was a life or death situation, I get it, but sometimes it's like, yeah, I could have waited till the morning. So why am I taking time away from my present self, from my, downtime, from my family, to worry about something that, I don't need to worry about? And again, you guys, like, that's hard to disconnect from sometimes, especially when I'm supposed to be, paying attention to my phone a lot of the time, because I do have a second shift, night shift thing in one of the buildings going on. It's like a weird shift. So there are times where, like, I do kind of have to pay attention. And then, and again, like, what does that mean? Does that mean I'm going to be constantly on my phone 24/7? No, like, I need some downtime too. And I need time to, like, process what, I'm doing and what is going on. And hold on. Whew. Sorry, everybody. My kids came in, but I am back now. Okay, so yes, it's definitely hard with all of the things that life throws at you to sometimes live in that present moment. And one of the things that I want to call out is, if you keep living in fear of what will happen, sometimes what you fear comes to be. And that's because, honestly, you're manifesting it. And that's actually something that I learned. And when I really look back on a lot of the parts of my life, I see it. I definitely see where I was living in fear, or I was worried something would happen, and I was just so stuck in it that it came to life, And it was definitely, we are more stronger than we think we are. I know, you definitely have heard this before, where, your world is basically what you make it, what you think, and what you're investing in it. And if you're investing negative energy into it, if you're just living in that fear, being scared, it's going to happen. What you're going to manifest is going to be negativity. Bad things are going to happen to you. Things are not going to work out as you expected. And I'm not saying that every time something goes bad, it isn't good for you, because I do believe that sometimes you go through situations for the better of it, but sometimes you manifest bad things into your life, especially when the earth and the universe is aligned in a certain way to where it is easier to manifest. I actually made a video this morning talking about how I am realizing that right now, being such a sensitive time where my manifestations come to life, I need to be more aware. I need to be kinder to myself. I can't just be stuck into like, oh my gosh, I did this one thing wrong and, my life is over. All this negativity is going to come into my life, and just so set on how bad this decision was. I need to like stop, learn from it for number one, and then move forward with it, like in a positive way, Like, look at all the things I've done that are good. One little moment is not going to define who I am, especially when it's not something big, or even then when it's not, as bad. I can always come back from it. It's one of those moments. It's not something that was done out of anger. It was, again, an accident over something, and I just needed to like get over myself, um, and just be like, okay, no, think positively, be kind to yourself. You're so much stronger than you are. And one of the things that was getting to me was having time to, invest a little bit more into even doing this podcast and looking at it a little bit more, because I do want to work on, getting a little bit better at the recording part, the editing part, and, getting a better camera and leveling up, and I get so on myself for not having that time. But, I actually had some great friends that helped me out last night, and were telling me, you do so much. Like, you're a single mom, you work hard, you have a full-time career, you're salaried, which basically means you're working 24/7 some days. You're doing this, you're doing that. And on top of that, like, you're trying to take care of yourself, trying to do all these things. And live authentically. And, all of that takes work. All of that takes work. It takes time. And, why are you beating yourself up when you have done so much good with the time that you do have and you do invest towards the podcast? So it was definitely a moment where, honestly, again, I had to be, okay, let me kind of stop living so much into what I didn't do, and like stop and actually do it. And actually like take the time to, like I said, invest in like looking into certain things. So yeah, so again, it was one of those moments once I actually lived in that present moment and realized all that I'm doing, and that I am doing the best that I can. And, I'm not doing a bad job at it either, because I feel like I am finding time even for this podcast. I think I was just so stressed out about not having an episode ready in the time that I usually have it in, that I let it get to me. And again, I'm able to do it. I was able to complete it. I found the time to do it. So what am I so worried about, And it's okay. So that's just a couple of things of like trying to be present and the benefits of it. And my biggest advice, you guys, is honestly stop, kind of take like a deep breath, and, relax a little bit. And it's almost kind of like you're about to meditate. Take that time to really like think about what is going on around you at that time. What are you feeling at that time? Do you want to miss out on these moments? We all hear it all the time, the little moments are like the best things in life, or it's the things that you're going to remember when, when you get older, or your kids get older. That's the little things that they're going to remember, like not the big things. Of course they will, but sometimes it's not even those that have the most value. So definitely take that all into consideration next time, you're not being as aware, or you're not being like living in your moment and realizing messages that are coming through, or even, like I said, sharing your time with people. So that's it, you guys, for this week. I am going to be reading the cards for you guys next, so give me a second to get that together. Okay, you guys, so today I have my little guest here. Say hi. She's gonna be helping me pick the cards. So Olivia, go ahead and pick the first card. Okay, so we have the Lovers. So the Lovers, of course, can be a romantic card. But the sense that I'm getting here, it's more about partnerships and making the right decisions. So it's making decisions, having, I guess you're stuck, like almost having to be stuck at a crossroads is like one of the messages that I keep getting. Kind of like you're stuck in between, choosing a path. Pick the second one. Okay. And we have the Magician. So the Magician is basically, you can pretty much come up with anything you want. Like anything right now, you can manifest and you can create with the Magician card. And just putting these cards together already, I'm getting a vibe that, it seems almost like you're worried about this decision. And the Magician is telling you like, hey, you can manifest anything right now. So be wise about what you're manifesting. So kind of like I was telling you during my video, it's, choosing about what you're saying and what you're doing to get the right outcomes for you. Okay, let's keep it going. The Five of Swords, and the theme keeps going, you guys. So right now you're going through struggles, or you have been through struggles where you're probably feeling like, okay, I've been through so much, and I'm like, basically, I'm getting like a feeling almost like you're feeling stuck or you're feeling stagnant. And it's telling you basically to manifest, whatever is right for you. Let me see the next one. Okay, and it is the Six of Wands. So again, you guys, tell me that is like not more of an outcome for you. So you're stuck at a crossroads making these big choices. You're being told, be careful on what you're manifesting, because that's going to be what your choice is. And it's letting you know, like, look at this conflict and these struggles that you've been going through. You're coming out on top. It is literally the card right after it. And, this card has been shuffled. These cards have been shuffled. So it's not like they were right next to each other already. But, but, you're coming out on top. And that's one thing that you have to be very confident about. And then just to clarify the first two cards, which is the Crossroads and the Magician, we're going to pull another one. But this is going to be like a clarifying card, which is study and learning. So it looks like you have a little bit to look into, to study, to learn about, so that you can make the right decision and manifest the right things. And then let me see the second card. Okay, so it is honor your beauty, which can definitely, honestly, goes with this whole reading, you guys. It's having that confidence, and not just about, an outwards appearance. I know it's called honor your beauty, but basically having that confidence inside is going to bring your outside out, your outside beauty, it's going to make you glow. And I know we've all heard this before, like, you're glowing, or you just seem so happy, or you're giving that energy out. And so that's what I'm getting for this reading, you guys. So it sounds like you guys have a decision that you're worried about, that you need to make. And it almost, to me, feels almost like you have to work in a partnership. But be careful with what you're saying and what you're doing, because you can manifest this, okay? And it's also taking the time to, focus on that manifestation, so you can study and learn about it to get it in the right path. And then this next part is definitely saying that you're coming out of these struggles. So see, you're coming out on top. You're coming out the winner in this victory, And basically your clarity card is saying you need to honor your beauty to get this, to come out on top. So you have to have that confidence. You have to know, like, I'm confident, I'm awesome, and not just on the outside. Like, let that shine on the inside. Outside, I mean, vice versa. Not just on the inside, but make that shine on the outside as well, And the only way that's going to shine is if you have that confidence, Okay, guys, so that was it. That was it for this week. Let me know what you guys all think about it. Like, subscribe, and follow me on all my, social media pages, just to stay on top of everything, okay? Have a great week, everybody. Say bye.